Oh, yes.
Hi, Bruce. How are you?
Oh, dear me.
Gee, it's good to see you.
Oh, where are we?
It's good to be back. Got a bit humid this evening and very sticky. Are you aware of that?
No.
Oh, about 2 hours ago I thought we were going to have a thunderstorm. But it didn't happen,
Now,
did it?
listen, we've got the big Tiger show tonight. This is a double return ticket to any Tiger Air destination in Australia, thanks to Tiger Air flying from the new Terminal 4 at Melbourne International Airport. Now, what we want you to do is listen to a tune that we're about to play. Don't ring now, but when you hear that song later in the program, you could be off to flying Tiger Air to Adelaide or Brisbane, Cairns, Coffs Harbour, Darwin, Gold Coast, Hobart, Melbourne, Perth, Sydney, and the Whitsunday Coast.
But there's more.
Well, there is more, because the major prize for every program at the end of week 2 is a return airfare and a week's accommodation for a family at the Hotel Mercure Bali Ligian,
No, you're right. First time, yeah.
Ligian, thanks to Tiger Air, who fly direct from Melbourne to Bali starting the 23rd of March.
Gee, that's exciting news. Now, you're going to hear this song twice later in the show. Now it's just a test, so you know what to listen for.
Okay, don't ring now, but when you hear that played by Kenny a little later on, twice in fact during Nightline, the number to call
8667 3601. I'll repeat that, the only number.
Slower, please.
8667 3601.
Okay.
What a great prize.
That's fabulous.
That'll happen twice every night for 2 weeks.
It's wonderful.
Now, I know you, like myself, and Ken especially, saddened by the passing of Glenn Fry today.
Yeah, Glenn Fry, the Eagles frontman, passed away. Supposedly the biggest band in the USA. Bigger, in fact, than the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and anyone you'd like to put up.
Oh, just huge. Absolutely huge. And in fact, we're here last year touring for Michael Gudinski, and I think the top price ticket was around $700
but
just to see
don't you
them.
love their, I mean, it's just so engaging. Hotel California and
Desperado, Lion Eyes. There's a new kid in town.
don't just reel them off. Talk about them, please.
I'll sing to you. Desperado.
No, thanks.
Have you got a sample there of their work,
No.
Ken? Something we can hear from the Eagles?
So what's the secret, Ken, of Glenn Fry, please?
They embodied a sound that really encapsulated a time and a place, that Southern California sound, that LA sound. Hotel California, of course, absolutely massive. But they just embodied a certain sound in a certain period of time, which I heard an interview with Glenn Fry replayed tonight, where he said that moment in time that they captured in music was just supposed to encapsulate that moment in time, and then people were to move on. But the songs and the quality of their music was so strong, it just outlasted a fad and a moment in time that should have passed and just continued on. Hence the fact that after they broke up in 1980, the demand was still so strong, nearly 2 decades later, that of course they did reform and continued intermittently to just continually tour the world. Just incredibly
successful. As Glenn said, their music is not for today, it's forever.
The theme was fabulous, of the deserts, with the flat-top Ford. There's a girl to be picked up.
Yeah, standing on the corner.
The Hotel California can see the rundown neon sign flashing in the desert. To me, that encapsulated them. Would I be right?
They did in music what you do, Bruce, very well. When you are out somewhere or when you're away, you paint that picture and the person listening is instantly transported to the story that you're telling, and that it's the same with the Eagles' music. You're instantly transported to that beautiful image that they create, and that is why those songs have lasted and why they made such an impression.
Yes, the pictures they painted.
Yep.
Now, here's something scary, and I might write a story for the Age about this. Do you realise, including David Bowie, including Glenn Fry, how many people die on or around their birthdays? It's quite amazing. It's quite staggering.
How many, in fact?
Well, if you go through the internet, you will be amazed at the number of people, including Shakespeare, who died on his birthday.
Have you gone through that? Because that would be a very interesting list.
And my father.
Thank you for that.
And my father.
Oh, not your father, but...
Well, I'm sorry.
But,
he was a celebrity in my eyes.
It wasn't.
Yeah. No, I'm going to do some research with Ken on Google, and when your birthday comes around, folks, take extra care of yourself.
Tonight we're going to hear this. This is fabulous.
Because so many people pass away.
A bit of research. Wonderful.
Around their birthday.
Looking forward to that.
Now, speaking of research, I'm only...
in about half an hour.
Can I thank you, Phil, for bringing that up, considering it's my birthday on Thursday?
Yeah, Ken, be careful of yourself. Yeah, Thursday, I wouldn't get out of bed. Now, here's something for you, Bruce, before Peter Hitchener comes in.
Well, is he coming in?
Yes, he's in the booth right now. I just waved to him. Today is the 60th anniversary of a very important occasion in Melbourne, which has been ignored by the media totally, except I'm aware of it, and we can't let the day go unheralded. Do you have any idea?
So this happened... on this day 60 years ago.
Absolutely.
Today.
Yes, it did. Today being January the 19th.
Was it the first of some celebration? Was it the first
Yes,
of like a moon? Was it the first of the Moomba parades?
No, I think they had started 2 years earlier.
Okay, so it was a celebration of a big event.
And you're involved. You are involved, as am I. And yet everybody has let it pass.
It's something to do with television? Something
Yes.
to do with the beginning of television?
You are spot on.
Was it locally? Channel 9 opened?
You are spot on. It happened 60 years ago today.
Goodness me.
The first day of transmission of GTV Channel 9. I thought they might have done a piece about it in the 9 years.
Why is this? Why do you remember that? What sprung that to your attention?
Well, I have a little anniversary book, and just thumbing through it, I thought, it's GTV's anniversary today, and I don't think anyone's made a fuss about it. But it prompted me to suggest that during the night, you might phone in, because so many people have been hooked on 9 for all these years. What through the years have been your favourite programs on 9?
But more than that, I think, rather than say, I like My Three Sons, or I love I Dream of Jeannie, go right back to the very early days.
Mm-hmm.
When that capital of television really captured the imagination of Melbourne.
Very much so. 7 went on there at the same time. But who are the personalities who appealed to you?
And we used to crest down from the Hawthorne Hill, and you'd see that smokestack with GTV written on it.
It's like Hollywood.
And it was as close to Hollywood as you could get.
As you thought you would.
And you would drive up Bendigo Street, and you would envy the people that lived either side of Channel 9, because they'd head to Jago Street every night for In Melbourne Tonight, or it could be you during the afternoon.
Tarak show in the evening.
Tarak show for the kids. And it was like the Bijou Theatre opening not far from you.
Something happening all the time.
And you were so envious. Oh, we live next to Channel 9. Oh, you lucky devil.
Yes, exactly. So, folks, over the years, what has Channel 9 meant to you? Tell us tonight on Nightline.
Did you go to the wrestling? Did you sit there on a Sunday morning and watch Killer Kowalski and Brute Bernard bashing the living daylights out of them with those little bits of tomato sauce in their mouth?
Or maybe you went to shows like Take the Hint with Frank Wilson.
But really, you're going right back to, rather than shows, that the people, the characters, the personalities that made up that stage.
Yeah, it's been a very important part of our lives, hasn't it? And 9 has always seemed to dominate. 7 perhaps do in sport, but 9 particularly in variety, no doubt about that. 96900 693. I want to say hello to our country cousins, Bruce.
Yes, 3NE Wangaratta, good evening to you, and 2QN Deniliquin. Keep listening out for I'm a Tiger. Haven't played it yet, but when Ken does, he will then adjudicate, give us the winner, and we'll announce it, where they're off to one of the Tiger Air destinations, any capital city across Australia, with the major prize, return airfares to the Hotel Mercure, Bali, thanks to Tiger Air.
How good is that?
Oh, how good is that? You can't get much better than that, Phil.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thanks, boys. It's quarter past. With an amazing bolt across that bridge from GTV to 3AW, it's Peter Hitchener. Good evening, Peter.
Good evening, Bruce, and hello, Philip. I think these Lycra tights are just helping me do the sprint a bit faster from the newsroom over there, right back here, and then back again for more.
Just cross your legs, will you? I just can't stand it looking as I am.
And worse, he's wearing Bruce's tights.
Actually, no. But how interesting tonight, the start of the 60th year of television.
Yes, it was actually January 1957, but it's the start of the 60th year of television. Channel 9.
And there was a photograph, an archival and historic photograph at 9, all the time we were there in Richmond, which came to an end about 5 years ago. But here it was, the photograph of the official opening of GTV Channel 9. And there's the governor's car, this long Humber Super Snipe, parked in the studio. And all the people on these metal chairs, the ladies in their furs, the gentlemen in their suits, or dinner suits probably, and the governor alights from his vehicle and declares television open.
And driving through that, it looked like a navy blue BBB in a spring mattress blanket.
Yeah.
You know, that vile background thing they used for years.
Yes, for years and years. And that is a historic photograph. And people, I'm not sure who'd have been the officials invited along, but they'd have dined out on that long time.
Sir
Arthur Warner.
Sir Arthur Warner for Astor.
Yes.
Because they bought television. They bought Channel 9 to sell Astor
television sets.
Not to entertain the masses.
Isn't that funny?
Yes.
Isn't that funny? And along the way, they entertained a generation.
And of course, the governor said, of course, with Channel 9, you've got to switch. There's a switch to on. And you can go on or off, and it designates whether you want to stay with the program or not. You great Alec.
What else is there, you great Alec?
I'll tell you who was there that night. Sir William Dunk, the chairman of the War Board.
Oh,
William Dunk, that's right.
Oh, yeah, well, you're asking which dignitaries
Sir
were there.
William Dunk, yes, and the ladies in their finery and their hairdo. And,
yes.
They just look
And those file sheets you talked about, they kept them through the years, even until we moved to Studio 9.
They kept them. They had them still somewhere right through until we left Richmond.
Well, I mean, the following day they'd use it for World Championship Wrestling for all the girls from Greece who were waiting to get in, and they were.
And the roller derby. How about that?
The roller derby with that bloke from Brisbane with that mo and cross eyes.
Oh, you're so funny. Oh, that is so amazing.
It's true.
And television, of course, in those days was something that it just revolutionised entertainment. And kids today, with multi-screens, they've got the tablet and the phone and everything else. So if they happen to be watching television, they have no idea what it was like in the early days, the days of monochrome. It was just something that you changed our lives.
As a kid, you would drive down Bendigo Street and you'd say to Dad, could you pause here at Channel 9? I just want to look at Channel 9.
So could I.
And be envious of the people living in Jago Street.
Yes, that's right. Of course, who were eventually bought out. Eventually Channel 9 moved into their house. But, of course, the days of Tommy Hanlon Jr. and so many other wonderful shows bring back the prizes that were given away in those days. I once spoke to a woman and she said, "Oh, I well remember that. I well remember the early days of television. I was so excited. I went on." It might have been It Could Be You or one of those shows. And she said, I won one of the minor prizes. And I said, oh, what was that? She said, a mop and bucket. How marvellous. They had spent big in those days. And another lady said to me, she said, I won. She said, it was wonderful. Because remember, this was a day not that long after the war when white goods were, pretty expensive and scarce. She said, we won a washing machine on the show. And she said, only trouble was we actually had to get it home by ourselves, and we'd come in on the tram.
And they would get it home by tram.
They got it home by tram. Isn't that funny?
Marvellous.
So, those marvellous, wonderful days, and there's so many stories behind the scenes.
Some of the major prizes were panics that fit where you sit. They're pants for women. And blokes were wearing them on the way home.
On the tram.
Or you'd win 12 tins of Ardmona tin pairs.
Yes.
That'd be a major prize.
Oh, marvellous.
Or a parlour car's trip to Adelaide.
Oh, yes. That is pretty upmarket, though, that one.
Yeah.
And of course, Graham would come on and talk about those wonderful shoes. If it's hurting...
They're Almond,
exactly.
Glow Weave shirts.
Glow Weave
and
shirts.
Sol Same and Glow Weave are still in Fitzroy to this very day.
Isn't that amazing?
It's fantastic.
I remember one commercial that I watched of Graham way back in the early days talking about Kleenex tissues, wet strength. And there was the egg, of course, the wet strength. And naturally, of course, the egg went through it and broke and splooshed everywhere. But that was the whole point of selling things. Graham would do whatever he could to send the product up and make fun of it. And people bought it and bought it in droves.
But look at the amazing talent that the man was.
Oh, yes.
Coming from radio,
Yep.
as raw as you can get.
Yep.
Didn't want to go on. Lived with Grandma in St Kilda. Takes home the first cheque and she says, "Take it back. It's too much money. You don't deserve that."
How wonderful.
You know,
What a lovely story.
amazing stories.
Isn't it? And what an entertainer he was.
Oh.
And of course, again, in that day and age, his celebrity must have been almost impossible to live with because he was, just somebody who was, everybody knew Graham Kennedy and everybody thought he was terrific or dreadful or whatever they thought of him. He was just the biggest star, the biggest television star probably ever.
But he was growing with the community.
With the community.
He was growing
yes,
with them.
and people just loved it.
Yes.
So you two were so lucky to have been there in the foundation days, in the early days, and doing all the shows that you did, all the live booth, the live shows.
Phil particularly.
Well, I was there within 15 months of the station opening, which was a wonderful opportunity.
And so did you have to audition for Sir Arthur Warner?
No, I auditioned for the producer of In Melbourne Tonight. His name was Tom Miller, and I had to do a booth audition, a voiceover, reading some promotions, Next on 9, Smokey Dawson or whatever.
And where Graham Kennedy got the break was at 3UZ, where there was an appeal for the what was it?
Red Cross.
The Red Cross, and all the 3UZ personalities were on stage at the UZ giving donations, and it was Norman Spencer who went in and said, "I'm going to pick one of these people. They're the biggest things in radio. We're going to pick someone to do the Tonight
Channel
Show."
9.
And it happened to be Graham Kennedy. Well, Nicky, wasn't it Nicky originally?
Yes, so right. Before your time, there was a wonderful radio icon, Nicky, who died at about the age of 44, but he was first choice to do...
I think the children's program, wasn't it?
Yes, rather than Happy Hammond.
Yes, and Nicky, I gather, when he passed away, Melbourne came to a stop.
Oh, yes.
And there was a procession, a funeral procession.
From Ivanhoe, where he lived, to the Springvale Crematorium.
Isn't that amazing?
They were 5, 6, 7 deep.
Yes.
And Graham, did Graham work with him? They worked as a team?
They worked as a team for the morning program.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And Graham started, I think, as an office boy at 3UZ, and Nicky wanted this foil. I want to work with someone.
With somebody.
Oh, we'll try Alfie.
Yeah, and then...
Alfie came in and did double with Nicky. And Alfie was taken off to national service at Puckapunyal.
Oh, yes.
Who else have we got? Well, we've got a new kid. He's from, I don't know, from the ABC, Graham Kennedy. I'll bring him in. And he was sort of, "Hello, Mr. Witter. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'll do my best for you." Yeah. Well, listen, go out. I want to talk about bras. I want to talk about Estee Lauder bras. You get out. But I'll go out of the studio, Nicky. You go out further, Graham. But I'll go right out here into the lane next to 3UZ if you'd like me to. And it was that wonderful banter.
Yes, and ad lib, no doubt, because I gather that Graham Kennedy, even though he would rigorously rehearse things and knew what every light in the studio in the lighting grid was and where it was meant to be, he knew. But so much of what was so wonderful about him was the ad lib section of it. I mean, he was able to either rehearse a script and stick to it, or just go with the flow and be hilarious.
And, the most nervous entertainer before the show, he would nearly throw up. He was so tense, so keyed up.
Isn't that amazing?
Oh, yes.
And there were other compares, I gather, of IMT. I know Sir Eric was an unlikely compare of an IMT once, he entertained everyone and played the violin, which he could do, and was charming and witty and funny. And Sir Eric, and oh, how lovely, and the lovely stories about Eric doing the monologue, or at the end of the "Good night, God bless you," and you at the end before the station closed down, and that wonderful night where he was standing at something that looked very much like something a lectern you'd see in a church, and they widened the shot as he was saying good night, as he was about to say good night, God bless you, and you, and didn't realise that Eric was wearing a very beautiful suit, three-piece suit, tie, the works, buttonhole, but he was also wearing a very fluffy pair of carpet slippers. It looked so lovely.
Wonderful
the dear old
story.
figure. There's Eric now. I'm never sure if Eric did it on purpose or what it was, but just one of those little things that happen that people remember.
They don't happen today. Those things don't happen
No, of course
anymore.
not. No, it's being made up as we go
Peter,
along.
we've enjoyed
It's lovely
this
seeing you
nostalgia.
It's been a romp
Thank
down
you.
memory lane, more so than talking about the shows. Just
Yes.
the basis of how we felt about that place.
Yes, you must have been so excited, both of you, when you got a job there. How exciting.
Well, I mean, how blessed that the three of us have been a part of those golden years.
Yes.
And
yes.
it's all sort of happened by accident in many
Yes,
ways.
it
Well,
did.
it didn't with you because you were
yes.
brought in as
No, it did.
reader.
No, it did. It happened by accident for all of us. That's what our careers are. You just be at the right place at the right time and enjoy what you're doing and hope for the
It's
best.
a matter of luck. The definition of luck, where preparation meets opportunity.
Well said.
Well, how did that apply to any of us?
I don't know, but anyway, good night. It's great.
I thought it was preparation H.
Australia.
Got your eye on my joint to turn it into flats.
Yeah, the bulldozer's ball would be the first thing I'd use.
Yeah.
Right through to Avonlea Street.
Hands off buttocks.
Don't forget, all jokes aside, as he's trying to bring this round to a very low level, Ian Reid would be the best person, because he's an advocate. He knows people. He knows the game.
The time will come when I'll need you, Ian.
No, you won't.
The
I
time will
wouldn't
come.
use you in a blue fit.
Time will come when I'll be ringing 9430
Sorry, busy line, buddy. Not interested. You're a turncoat. 24 minutes to 11. What a great night to be there. Perfect weather, a still night, gorgeous evening, and you're seeing the cream of the world tennis.
Wouldn't you love to be there tonight? Nadal and...
Please don't call me
Hewitt.
Nadal, just say big man.
Tomic, all there on the one night.
Okay, 23 minutes to 11. Let's go to Cameron at Berwick. Good day, Cameron.
Hello, Worf and Philip and Kensters. And yes, it was a warm day today, wasn't it? Very high on the UV scale. So I stayed inside with my shutters down, kept myself relatively cool until about 5:30 when it started to heat up. But can't do. I've got the aircon on at the moment. Now that was very interesting because on the 10th. David Bowie passed away, only aged 69 of cancer. And then on the 14th, Alan Rickman, the English actor, passed away, aged 69 of cancer. And now I thought, oh, God, let's hope that on the 18th no one passes away, but things happen in threes. And Glenn Fry on the 18th. 4 days, subsequent. But Glenn Fry was only 67, which is very sad.
And most of them within days of their birthdays.
Yes, but it's very sad that 67, isn't it?
Well, of course. It's very sad at any age.
Yes, of course it is, but it's still, at 67, they've still got, potentially 20, 30 years ahead of them.
Yes, true.
And I just don't know whether fame does take a toll. I think fame does take a toll on a lot of people, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, look at the Eagles. They'll go on stage for 3 hours non-stop,
Yeah.
I mean, their schedule is punishing.
Yes, I can imagine.
And a different state, a different show every night.
Yeah, but very young, though. That's the point that Cameron's making.
Yeah.
Now, just with regard to Jago Street, Boss, I remember going as a kid, well, I was a young adult, and it probably would have been it was a teenager, to tapings of Sale of the Century and also tapings of Hey Hey It's Saturday.
Yes.
And I remember going in and I thought, this is more like a factory. We went in, we waited outside the entrance at Jago Street, and we'd go in and sort of like all sort of old sort of building, and all these photos of, I saw Mike Walsh and Graham Kennedy and who's the other one? Bert Newton, and who were some of the other famous people? Don Lane and who else was famous?
Oh, Pete Smith would have been on the wall there too.
Well, let's go right back to Tony Lamond, and let's go back to
Eric
Evie
Pearce.
Hayes and all those
Hal Todd.
people.
Baby then, Boss. So I don't remember Tony Lamond, or
No.
I have heard those names.
Yes.
I'll grant you that. But I think television has changed dramatically, hasn't it, in the past 60 years?
Yeah, for the worse.
Yes, it has. We've got multi-channel now and more American. I'm still going to push for Channel 9 or one of the networks, get in, have a live show. It will be successful. You might even sell it overseas. You might even sell it to one of the cable channels in the US. And you'll certainly sell it to New Zealand.
Yeah, unfortunately, everything comes out of Sydney these days, radio and TV.
All right, Cameron, thank you very much indeed for the call. Always nice to catch up. 20 minutes to 11.
Yes, Sahara, hello. Line 7.
Yeah.
What can we do for you?
Well, I have some new art, and it's my hobby, rising art.
Yeah.
Lots of different art, and I have a song to play.
Yes.
Okay.
I have the Stevie Wonder one, Yes to Me, Yes to You, that one.
Oh,
Okay.
lovely song.
Right.
Yes, let's hear it.
And your viewers can look at my art on the YouTube. Oz Art Difference.
All right, let's hear the song.
They can have a look at my art.
Yes, we will look at your art. Now, yes to you, yesterday, yes to me.
Oh, there we were. A tribute to Stevie Wright, wasn't it? What's his
Stevie
name?
Wonder.
Stevie Wonder.
I used to love that song.
Okay, Sina, good evening.
Hello, Bruce and Philip.
Hello.
Congratulations, a double return ticket to any Tiger Air destination in Australia. You have won.
Where would you like to go, Sina?
We've been thinking Perth.
Yeah.
All right, well, you'll be flying from the new Terminal Number 4 at Melbourne International Airport, and you're off to Perth.
I'm so happy. Thank you so much, Bruce. Thank you, Philip.
And you'll be taking someone with you, of course, and maybe in 2 weeks, maybe, you might win a flight to Bali with your whole family, staying at the Hotel Mercure.
That's return airfares and a week's accommodation for the entire family in Bali at the Hotel Mercure, Bali.
Oh, thank you so much.
And because Tiger Air will fly direct from Melbourne to Bali starting 23rd of March.
Oh, it's Sina now. If you hold the line for Ken, we'll organise the trip to Perth for you from Tiger.
Thank you, Bruce and Philip. Thank you.
Well done. And we'll do it again in the next hour.
Please hold on there, Sina. Get that number.
Yeah.
Remember the number. Listen to the song from, what's her name?
Lulu.
And you're the first in, best dressed, off somewhere in Australia, and then for the major prize off to Bali.
It's one of the best prices we've ever had.
Take a Tiger ticket. It's across to the Herald Sun news desk and
Kate.
Kate McMahon. Hello, Kate. Good evening.
Oh, good evening, guys. Did you see Leighton's amazing win just now?
Yes, amazing it is. And I suppose it'll be in the Herald Sun tomorrow?
Oh, absolutely. We've got reporters eagerly filing about that right now, so I won't talk for too long. It's hugely exciting, though. Such a star, and what a way to finish off his last ever...
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, legend. Tomorrow's Herald Sun, we exposed the secret documents which show that rail bosses were warned 2.5 years ago about the potential for a deadly accident on the line because of the level crossing failures. And you guys have probably heard a lot from people who've been affected by that today.
Yes, of course.
We also have all the latest on why motorists are being ripped off at the petrol pump, and Nick Gatto's brazen bid to buy a bank, would you believe?
Mm-hmm.
And also Jeffrey Edelston's latest beautiful girlfriend.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's at it again.
Strike me. Think Gatto getting a bank and a new girlfriend.
I want to know where Edelston gets the energy from.
Oh.
Because, you know, like, I can barely keep track of...
Yeah, well, I'd like some of Edelston's rejects even. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind some of Gatto's.
Thanks, Kate.
Okay.
And the
No worries.
TV lift out
Right,
tomorrow.
Kate, thank you very much
lift out.
indeed. Thanks, Kate. 12 minutes to 11. Frank and Epping, good evening.
Gentlemen, just memories of Channel 9. I remember being a young guy and 5 minutes to 12 every Sunday morning having no idea what Bob Santamaria was saying on Point of View.
That's wonderful.
But just waiting for the wrestling to start, and I would watch all of Point of View because I didn't want to miss the start of Jack Little starting at midday. So, and then Epic Theatre at 1 o'clock, I think it was, with Victor Mature and the like. So,
You've got a
great memories.
You've got a great memory there. B.A. Santamaria on for a quarter of an hour. I think it was 1:45 to 2.
I think and I watched every 15 minutes and had no idea what he was saying.
No, you wouldn't.
Good one, Frank.
Oh, that's marvellous, Frank.
Okay, thanks for that. Bye.
Thank you. Chris, good evening.
Go, fellas. How are
Yeah,
you?
g'day, Chris.
Bob Santamaria was in the Democratic Labour Party, wasn't he?
DLP, yes.
Hello again, this is John Doremus with a passing parade and the story of a fantastic theory which gained great support in the first half of the 19th century to the effect that the world was hollow. John Cleves Sims, inventor of the hollow world theory, caused a great deal of trouble, even after his death. I'll be back. John Cleve Sims was born in Sussex County, New Jersey on November 5th, 1780. A fiery youth, he enlisted in the Army at 22, rose to the rank of ensign, and became a notorious figure at Mississippi's Natchez Garrison. When he left the Army, he was in his late 30s, and he put his mind to finding a quick way to fame and fortune. Among other things, he studied the stars through a telescope and drew up his own charts of the heavens. After examining various planets, Sims came to the conclusion that they were hollow. Just how he reached that conclusion, nobody knows, but it became an obsession with him. He then made the startling announcement that the Earth itself was hollow, and that the center could be reached through fissures in the ice at the North and South Poles. He wasn't the first to put forward a similar theory. Plato had it that the Earth contained passages both broad and narrow, and huge subterranean streams. And in 1692, the famed astronomer royal Sir Edmund Halley had told Royal Society members that there was a hole in the middle of the Earth where planets revolved. These accounts inspired Sims no end. So much so, in fact, that he wrote a book. In 1818, he mailed hundreds of copies of a circular to some of Europe's leading scientists and America's university presidents. In it, he declared that the Earth was hollow and habitable, containing a number of solid concentric spheres, one within the other, to which there was access at each pole. Immediately, scientific bodies received the missive. They flew into an uproar. The French Academy scorned the notion, while British scientists refused to commit themselves, and Russian scientific organizations hailed Sims as a genius. In America, the hollow Earth theory began to win support too. After lecturing in most parts of the country, Sims crossed the border into Canada, where he scored further success. He described the interior of the world as a utopia, where physically perfect human beings lived in sublime conditions. In 1822, with the hollow world fever at its height, President Adams agreed to equip full-scale expeditions to the North and South Poles in search of the entrances to the inner world. Before the expeditions could be fitted out, however, Adams was voted out of office and supplanted by Andrew Jackson, who ridiculed the entire project. In May of 1829, while lecturing in Canada, Sims contracted pneumonia and died. But the hollow Earth mania showed no signs of abating, and 6 months later, the first fully equipped expedition to search for the Earth's center sailed from New York, backed by private finance. It was a disaster that ended in mutiny and murder. Yet Sims' theory died hard. For years, novels and even scientific works appeared with glowing and graphic accounts of the world within. Our time is up till we meet again for another chapter in the Passing Parade. This is John Doremus, and goodbye for now.
Thanks to the Ian Reid Vendor Advocacy. We're now across to the Weather Bureau. Dean Stewart's over there tonight. Good evening, Dean.
Yeah, good evening, Bruce.
And a very beautiful day, I thought, today.
Yeah, look, it was another warm day. In fact, fairly hot once you got away from Bayside areas, as hot as 36 up at the View Bank, 35 at Scoresby. In the city, we made it to 31 degrees at about 4:15 this afternoon.
Right, so what's the overnight low looming like, Dean?
Yeah, look, fairly pleasant out there at the moment, sitting on 23. It's not going to fall too much further, down to a minimum of 19 degrees. Quite cloudy skies expected overnight and for much of tomorrow as well. I think we're likely to have some shower activity around during the morning. The bulk of it should be clear by midday, so a mostly dry afternoon, and a top temperature of 26 degrees with a southerly breeze.
Sounds all right.
And what about Thursday? More of the same?
Yeah, look, I don't think there'll be too much shower activity around on Thursday, just a slight chance of a shower, but mostly dry on Thursday, top of 27. However, Friday looks a bit more interesting. It looks like we'll have quite a bit of shower and even the chance of some thunderstorm activity around as well. The chance of some locally heavy falls even in the metropolitan area, a top of 27, so still quite humid conditions. And then cooler for the weekend, 24 on both Saturday and Sunday. Just a chance of a morning shower, but mostly dry across the weekend. And anyone taking a long weekend for the Australia Day, 23 on Monday, 22 on Tuesday. So relatively cool conditions into early next week.
Good, okay. Thank you for that, Dean.
Thanks, Bruce. Phil.
A low of 19 degrees, a mild morning on the way with a shower early on tomorrow and a cloudy day, top of 26 degrees.
Sounds good to me, Bruce.
And how's Australia Day looking, Phil? Quite a mild day?
Yes, Monday, 23 degrees.
Okay.
And fine.
Righto, 3AW Wangaratta, thanks for your company, and 2QN Liloquin, always lovely to have you with us.
Now, being an ambassador of Australia Day as you are, where are you unfurling the flag on Monday, Bruce?
Melton and Seymour.
Oh, what time? I'd like to be there to watch you.
It's going to be unexpected, and I'm arriving by helicopter.
I've been asked to go to South Morang, but the problem is they want me after dark.
Where are you?
South Morang.
South Morang after dark, What, about 7?
No, later, and I've explained that I'm double booked, that I'm here for a meeting for Nightline at that time and doing preparation for the show. So sadly I can't be there, folks. I'll be there in spirit.
Well, you don't get in till 5 to 10, so you could spend a bit of time up at Morang.
Oh yeah, I'd never get back
South and North Morang.
I'd never get back in time, Dobber.
You would.
Oh, well, come with me.
I might even do that, Phil, as a double act in the dark in South Morang. Okay, let's go to Pakenham now. And don't forget, we've still got that Tiger ticket.
Yeah, and
up to Kenny to play I'm a Tiger.
Yeah, and the special line will be 86673601.
Jenny at Pakenham, good evening.
Good evening, Bruce and Phil.
Hello, dear Jenny.
You're both well.
Yeah, thank you.
I'd just like to add my voice to the gentlemen who spoke about the price of chops.
Yes.
I was in one of the big supermarkets last week, and two other ladies and myself had a chat about it because the barbecue chops were $26 a kilo and the loin chops were $29 a kilo.
Yes.
And the older lady said to me, my father would keel over in his grave. Grew up on the land.
Yes.
To think that the farmer wouldn't be getting much of this money.
I'll tell you something really sad. I was talking to a lady today who's quite affluent, but because of the price of meat, she's resorted to eating Whisker's cat food and Nature's Gift dog food.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Oh, who? Now,
Yeah.
who? Come on.
I'm sorry, a neighbour of mine.
Why don't you step in and say, let me buy you some chops?
Well, it'll be quite nourishing.
Why didn't you do it?
But if it's good enough for her animals,
rubbish.
it's good enough for her.
Don't live in a dream paradise. You make half your life up.
She's too proud for me to...
Who is it?
To be supporting
All right,
her.
give me your name. I'll go and visit her and take along some rump.
Well, I'll tell you off there, she'd be embarrassed to be named.
Be embarrassed.
Oh, my word, I've got the chop already.
Yeah, but it's sad, isn't it? That's, you know, we're becoming like a third world country, Jenny, aren't we?
One word of it.
That's the truth.
Oh, rubbish.
Her first name is Kath, all right? Do you want her surname as well?
Surname, yes.
And the address? And what are you going to do? Make a food parcel for her?
I will take food. I'll take chops around tomorrow morning. In your name.
There you are, Jenny.
And grovel in your face.
All right, Jenny. Thanks for your call.
Gigi, good evening.
Hi, Gigi.
I'd like some chops, please.
Oh, yeah, a whole lot of you coming out of the woodwork now.
We'll all line up in media.
Oh, I'd like some chops, Bruce.
Oh, that's so funny. Yes, I've forgotten now what I was going to say. Oh, it was so good to hear Patty last night.
Wasn't she? And Peter Hitchener.
And Peter Hitchener, and again Peter Hitchener tonight.
But they were wonderful last night, I thought.
I know, it was just so back to how things used to be.
Yeah, and more.
Yes, you're so right.
More good news, Gigi. Andrew McLaren will be in later in the week.
No, they were great last night, Gigi.
They were, and I loved Peter Hitchener again tonight.
Yes.
And it was just last night, unfortunately, the video streaming was still stuck as a tennis, so I didn't get any pictures from the studio, but I did tonight.
Oh, yes.
So that's much better. So, no, that's really all I wanted to say, how great it was, and I'm hoping there will be more guests for you in the future.
Oh, certainly.
Yes, because that really was fun.
That was great. All right,
Gigi.
Gigi.
It break, too. It gives you someone different to speak to.
Yes, and you certainly need that in 2 hours.
Yeah, it gives us a lift.
Thank you, Gigi, very much for your call. 26. We're saddened by the passing of Glenn Fry, the Eagles, probably the biggest band in the USA ever. what's the favourite band of yours? Who was the band of your childhood you grew up with and always remember? Like the Beach Boys were mine. I loved them. Every song was a hit.
Yes.
But you might like to reminisce about your early memories of a fabulous band, local band perhaps, or American or English. On 96900 we've got some beautiful Bataki hams for you tonight. Bataki is simply the best, the mini easy cut ham, and some pancake parlour vouchers from our friends at the Pancake Parlour.
Now, my favourite band might surprise you. They're huge in Las Vegas, but were never such a hit in Australia. I'm talking about Air Supply.
Oh, yeah.
Russell Hitchcock and...
Been past it now, haven't they?
Oh, no, they're huge in Vegas.
Right.
They're headliners.
Okay, Chris at Hastings, good evening.
Hello, Bruce. Hi, Phil.
Yes, Chris, g'day.
Hi, I'll be happy if Essendon can beat the Saints this year, get ahead of them. That'll make my day. And, Bruce, remember the big Valley and the Virginians?
Oh, on Channel 9, the early shows, yes. Oh, yeah.
And Bruce, did I see you in the afternoon on the Tour Santos cycle race in your Lycra?
Yes, you would have, yes. I think I was about 4th or 5th under the Arc de Triomphe.
Oh, we'll have to give you a bit of a caning and get...
Oh, yes. Right up the Arc de Triomphe, I would love it.
Yeah, let's hope he's not a drug cheat, Chris.
Oh,
well, a lot of cyclists are, aren't they?
Oh, what a great downer you are.
Well, they are. It's historical.
Good on you, Chris. Thank you. Steve, good evening.
G'day, guys.
Yeah.
Things that would irritate you. You know, I'm just reading the latest paper from the International Express from England, and they seem to have similar pet hates that we might have. See if you relate to any. Dunking a biscuit and losing half of it in a cup of tea.
Oh, nothing worse. A teddy bear biscuit swimming around in your tea.
Especially when it breaks apart into little pieces.
Yes.
And you have to start again. What about this one? When no one replaces the toilet roll.
Oh, yes.
I mean, let's not go into details, but we know what we mean there. They believe the top three, I didn't think this was something that would be a pet hate, but having a runny nose.
No. I'll tell you something that is a pet hate of mine. People who talk with their mouth full.
But running noses, Steve, you're absolutely right.
That surprises me a great deal. I mean, I rarely get one, but when I have, it has been, annoying. You can't sleep and you have to keep waking up every few minutes.
That's right.
And wiping it. Okay, number 2 is a call from unknown numbers.
Right.
Yeah, like an unexpected phone call. Yeah.
Okay. And number 3 is being left on hold when calling a company.
And
all the time.
They don't come back to you.
All the time.
But they still have things like door-to-door salesmen, so we don't. So they have that one as their pet hates. But what about this one? Not being able to find the end of a sticky tape.
Oh, I can't stand that. that Durex, and you say, oh, yes, I'll get the end of this. Can you find it? It's like opening the Sun in the morning, the Herald Sun when it's delivered, and you try and get that tab of the, what's it called?
The plastic?
What's it called?
Scotch tape and all that.
Shrink wrap, and you try to find that tag, and you ended up with a great scissors.
I'll give you a tip, guys. Grow one of your fingernails a little longer.
I think you're right.
Because when I do, I always remember that because you just end up, playing with it for hours.
But I open it with my teeth, Steve. It works for me.
Well, how do you mean?
I just tear my teeth. It works for me.
Your teeth.
Try it in the morning, Steve.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, Steve, thank you for calling. Gee, you're quick. Tamara, good evening.
Oh, I got through. Hello.
Tamara, good evening.
Oh, wow, this is exciting.
Now, you are part of, Take a Tiger ticket. Now, this means you want a double return ticket to any Tiger Air destination in Australia, thanks to Tiger Air flying from the new Terminal 4 at Melbourne International Airport. Where would you like to go, Tamara?
Probably Tasmania.
Why?
I have a girlfriend that went there when she got married, and I actually haven't seen her since.
How exciting. Well, you can take someone with you,
Yes, I'll probably take another friend that's a mutual friend of hers.
A Flying Tiger from, as Bruce said, the new Terminal 4, which is fantastic. And
Thank you very much.
Well, you're off to Hobart with you and a friend. And then in 2 weeks' time, maybe you'll win the return airfare and a week's accommodation for the whole family at the Hotel Mercure Bali Legion, thanks to Tiger Air, who fly directly from Melbourne to Bali daily, starting the 23rd of March.
That would be exciting.
So are you thrilled?
Incredible. It would be a double whammy, wouldn't it?
Good luck to you, Tamara.
Oh, thank you so much.
Well, there you are. You are off to Hobart.
Yeah.
And I want you to hold the line. We'll get tickets sent to you and all the details tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right.
And we'll do it again.
You're really thrilled, are you?
I really, really am. I'm going to call her tomorrow.
Yeah.
I just hope she's there, because if she's not there, she sometimes goes to New South Wales to visit her mother.
Oh,
He might go there, he might go there instead.
Right. Oh, well, yes. Well, you can make your mind up on that. Okay, we'll leave it up to you. I want you to hold the line, please, for Ken. Don't hang up. 22 past. Alexandra Factor, how's it looking?
Good evening, Bruce and Phil. We have one last match on Rod Laver Arena. Victoria Azarenka, she's doing it very easily, leading 6-love, 2-love in her first round match against Alison van Uitvank of Belgium. And 2 Australians progressing this evening. Leighton Hewitt beating fellow Aussie James Duckworth in straight sets, while Bernard Tomic overcame Uzbekistan's Denis Istomin in 4 sets. Stan Wawrinka is also through, while high-ranked seeds Rafael Nadal and Simona Halep both first-round casualties.
Okay, thank you, Alexandra Factor,
Thank you.
at the Australian Open.
Great night for the Aussies, wasn't it? Wouldn't you love to have been there?
Very much so. Let's have a look at the weather for tomorrow. A low of 19 degrees is forecast. A morning shower and cloudy tomorrow, top of 26 degrees.
And an hour ago we mentioned it's the start of Channel 9's 60th year today.
Okay, Maureen at Baronia. Good evening, Maureen.
Good evening to you both. The bands that you liked.
Yes.
I liked Victor Sylvester
Oh, yes.
and Pee Wee Hunt.
Oh,
One of
yeah.
your favourites.
Yeah, they were great, weren't they, in their day?
That was real music.
Yes, wasn't it fun?
And you could dance to it.
Yes, sure.
Yes, you could.
Okay, then. Thanks very
Thanks,
much.
Maureen.
Okay.
And so let me just mention, as we did an hour ago, because it's Channel 9's anniversary today, what were your favourite GDB shows during the years and favourite GDB identities?
Speaking of bands and your favourite dance band, you could go back to the 40s, 50s, or even to the 60s and 70s, to the rock and roll, this new era that came into our lives. The people who brought us Moonglow, what was the name of that glorious band?
That was Artie Shaw.
Gee, it was, no, Moonglow from Picnic.
Okay, well, that was originally theme from Picnic, George Cates and the Columbia Symphony.
But the original Moonglow, I don't know any of those orchestras, but
the original orchestra was Artie Shaw.
The sound was absolutely beautiful from Picnic.
Yeah.
Gee, that stays with you. A haunting melody, a haunting tune.
Yes, you're so right.
Is it Ruth at South Melbourne or Maureen? Where are we?
Ruth now, I believe. Hi, Ruth.
Hi, boys. I wanted to say for Channel 9 shows, I love Daryl and Ozzy on the Saturday morning. I loved them. But I must say, I mean, as much as I loved you and Graham and Bert, I was indebted to the Don Lane show when we had the bushfires up at Cockatoo.
Oh, yes.
He turned the show over that night almost into a community service. And it was the band playing, and you know how he'd get in there and clap hands. And
yes, he was great.
To me, it was so good. Everyone had been under such tension and such stress all week, and we were just able. And he'd said, the community services are saying, please don't go up there near the fires. They need to get in and do their work. Just, switch off and put your mind elsewhere. And I think he was great in that regard, And in that, I remember it so vividly because it was such a dramatic thing at the time.
And I think the money-raising concert that he put on for Darwin and the refugees from Darwin and the devastation of Darwin, they raised a lot of money, didn't they?
Yeah, up to Cyclone Tracy, yes.
Yeah, and you boys were always doing telethons of some description.
Strike, yes.
And, I mean, to me that was so much a huge part of the culture. And Channel 9 had a little bit more of that for whatever reason. There was always that feeling of going in and being an audience member on one of their shows. And I went into a Don Lane show and I went into Great Temptation with Tony Barber. And it was... the excitement was palpable. Both of them would come out and talk to the audience and sort of rev you up. are fantastic. And that era of entertainment, I'm grateful for having grown up in those times, because I'm sorry, there's not a thing I watch in the evenings anymore.
No.
Just doesn't appeal. And then all the other stuff on the Foxtel, apart from football, nothing I really want to watch. Maybe one documentary in a blue moon.
But you really felt like being part of the family, didn't you, in that at that time?
Yes, very much
Whether
so.
you were in the audience or watching at home?
Yes, Channel 9 just had that certain edge.
Thanks so much,
Ruth.
Ruth. Thank you. Kathy at West Footscray.
Hi, guys.
Yes.
For the newspaper, whack it in the freezer and put your cup of tea on and then come back. It'll come off easy.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Get the plastic off the newspaper.
Yes.
Whack it in the freezer.
Yes.
Go and put your kettle on. By the time your tea is ready, the newspaper will come off.
Aren't you lovely? In the freezer, in the freezer.
Yes.
Oh.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
So come back a minute later, and that plastic stuff will come off quite.
It comes off easy. Yeah.
Great. What a good tip.
And my favourite band is Ted Murray Gang.
Oh yeah, they were good, weren't they? Where were they from? Perth, were they?
Falling in love again.
Were they from Perth originally?
Not
Anyway,
aware of
Kathy, this is Kathy, isn't it?
Yes.
Hold on, we'll organise a Bataki mini easy cut ham. Ken?
For Kathy.
For Kathy. Just hold on.
Thanks very much.
You'll love it because Bataki is simply the best.
Can't wait for the morning to put my paper in the freezer.
Yeah, second, I'll bung that in straight away.
Just for 5 minutes.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, then put the tea on and then come back and open it.
It'll peel straight off.
Oh, it'll be frozen stiff.
I heard
get the headlines all right.
A great tip too with your Glad wrap. Now this is when Darren James was having that huge protest about them changing the position of the bar. You know, when you peel your Glad wrap out.
Oh, yes.
The Glad wrap company decided, because you'd take the Glad wrap out and you pull it down and that would tear it. Now some brainiac at Glad wrap decided they were going to change the position of the bar and put it under that flap at the top. So instead of pulling down, you had to pull up.
Yes.
And it was nothing but a nightmare.
I know.
And Darren James went to town, and through Darren and his protest on 3AW, had Glad wrap put the bar back in the correct position.
Oh, really?
But in the midst of all of this, somebody phoned Darren because they were saying that, you know, you could never ever get that Glad wrap to come out and you can never get it to work properly. And they said they keep the Glad wrap in the fridge.
Oh, really?
And it makes all the difference, apparently. So that's where I put mine now.
Yeah.
What a great tip.
And I know someone who keeps her cigarettes in not the fridge, but the freezer.
Why?
To keep them fresh.
Oh, an idiot.
What are you doing that for?
She's not. We're talking about the Hilda. She's no idiot.
Oh,
she's,
you are.
She's very high
How many
IQ.
do you smoke?
No, that's not the point.
It is. How many fags do you stick in your freezer?
Buddy, I've cut down.
Oh,
okay?
you have not.
Yes.
You're sucking on an ice block.
Jenny at Mitcham, hello.
Hi, boys. How are you?
Yes, Jenny.
That's good. I've got you in my ear and Leighton Hewitt on the TV.
Okay.
The group that I like is I love Queen.
Oh, yes. Freddie Mercury, isn't it?
Yeah, I love their songs. We Are the Champions.
Yes.
Rock You, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, yeah.
And also there's the other group, Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven. I love that band. The reason I love them is because when I was very young, my husband was courting me. He went out, bought a guitar, and he learned the lyrics to Stairway to Heaven.
Did he put the makeup on?
Yeah, no, he didn't do that. But
No.
it was good, and he knows how to play that one song, Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, great.
So it was really good. So that'll stay in my mind forever.
Yes.
Yeah. And Air Supply, I love Air Supply.
So do I.
Yep, you and me together.
Yeah, I've got all the records. Thanks, Jenny.
All right, no worries. You have a lovely night.
Okay, love. Jenny, thanks for calling. 26 to midnight.
Sounds good to me.
Peter at Mitcham, good evening.
Peter, welcome to Nightline.
Where are you, Peter?
Come
what
on.
happened?
Last chance.
Oh, you're talking about me?
If you're Peter at Mitcham,
What's your name, Peter?
Yeah.
you're on Nightline. You've rung Bruce and Phil.
Yeah, I'm from North Coburg, actually, not Mitcham.
Oh, I'm sorry. Our mistake.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I know today is GDV9's birthday today.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, listen, I'm involved with the Richmond and Burnley's Historical Society.
Mm-hmm.
And because we're helping Lendlease with the redevelopment of Channel 9's old place there.
Oh, yeah.
I think you were featured in a photo, an article.
Yeah, Yeah, no, and actually, Phil, I met your friend, what's her name, Wendy Hansen?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and she told me how it was in those early days when she was working for you guys.
Yeah, she was there at the very start.
Yeah.
Yeah, she lives in Richmond.
Yeah, no, the deal was when Channel 9 sold it to Lendlease, they sold it for $10 million. And what they said, they told Lendlease you can reuse the main building. So the main building is still there.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah, it's still there. And there are people living there now. There are people living there.
Yeah.
And there's a coffee shop and a community centre there.
Fabulous to keep it going. I think that's marvellous.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's great what they've done with the building, and you can still see the famous GTV television Channel 9 sign on Jago Street there, you know.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, hey Philip, the first time I went there was in 1962. We saw in Melbourne Tonight in Studio 1.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, with Graham and Bert, and there was Buster Vadez, Joff Allen, Rosie Burgess, you know, all those famous people.
Yes.
I reckon it was great. Those days were, you know, we'll never see those again if we do. I mean, there's DVDs out now on Graham and all that.
Yeah.
So, yes. Oh, hey, actually, I want to tell you about, on one of those Graham Kennedy DVDs, they made a mistake, you know, because Bert didn't start there till 1959.
That's true.
Yeah, no. Guess what they did? They put 1958, but Bert was already at Channel 7 doing the late show.
Oh, you're spot on, yes.
Yeah, no, I pointed it out. I mean, I did it in a nice way. I didn't in a bad way, but I just criticised them. And then on the 50 Years of Television DVD, there was a lady called Barbara Wyndon who used to work with Bobby Lim and Dawn Lake up in Sydney. And they, instead of putting her name, they put Judy Farr.
Oh.
So I don't know why, but you know, but I just said I said to the guys, next time when you put a DVD together, get your facts right. You know?
Well, you're the right man for the job.
Yeah.
Thank you, Peter, very much. Alan at Coolaroo, good evening.
Oh, good evening, friend.
Yes, Alan.
Hi.
A couple of things. I like Fleetwood Mac, especially when Stevie Nicks is up front doing the singing.
Yes.
And I go along with Phil. People eating with their mouth open.
Disgusting.
It is horrible.
Yes.
Why can't they keep their mouth shut?
Or worse, people talking while they're eating.
That's even worse.
I know, they do it.
Unbelievable.
I know.
There's no etiquette.
No class.
No, none whatsoever.
All right, good talking to you, Al.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right, Alan, good night to you, and across to Bendigo now. James, good evening.
Hi guys, how are you?
Yeah, what's your story?
I'm just wondering if you can help me. I've been watching the tennis tonight. Young Leighton come on, our tennis hero, and John Williamson come on singing True Blue.
Yeah.
And guess what? The announcers were talking over the top of John.
Oh, no.
Well, he was trying to sing. They were trying to put their 2 bobs worth in. Nobody was interested.
Oh, what a
They wanted to hear
shame.
about. Of course it was.
Oh.
And then at the end, we watched Leighton win the game, right? And then they're interviewing Leighton, and they got half the bloody TV screen on Leighton, half the TV on a couple of beautiful girls. I'm trying to concentrate on what Leighton's saying, and we can't hear the question of the, you guys. All we were doing is looking at beautiful legs, and I was just.
Bad direction by the sound of it, James.
Bad language, too. Right, James, thank you. 18 to midnight. Vic at Warrandyte, good evening.
Hi, Vic.
Vic?
How are you?
Yes.
I'm surprised no one's mentioned the Beatles. I mean, I grew up with the Beatles, and I reckon they must be one of the best bands in that era going round.
No doubt about it.
I remember I went to the festival hall, not that I saw them much because there was that many people you couldn't hear them, but it was something to see.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
How lucky were you to be there, yes.
You did?
Yeah, because mostly it was the girls who were there. They were there to scream and carry on, weren't they?
Yeah, Oh, yeah, that's for sure. I mean, as soon as the band started, you couldn't hear anything at all.
Oh, well, you were part of history that night, Vic.
Well, I certainly was, and I reckon you can't go past them.
Did you keep the ticket by any chance?
Unfortunately, I didn't.
That'd be worth a fortune today.
Oh, would it?
I
Yes.
reckon it might have been, yes, that's for sure.
I believe so.
How much?
According to Rick Milne, yes. The original ticket.
Now, Vic and Warrandyte, we're going to organise, we're through Ken, pancake parlour voucher for $50 for you to go along to the pancake parlour with your mates. Open 24 hours at High Point, Doncaster and Malvern East. Would you love that?
I'd love that. Thanks very much,
All
Bruce.
right, will you hold the line? Don't hang up.
Okay.
Hold on, Vic. James at Mini Ponds.
Yeah, hello. And another good show was Pick a Box by Bob Dyer and Dolly Dyer.
Yes.
And starring the Labor Party
Barry Jones.
Parliament. Oh, he was marvellous, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So that was a highlight of Monday night.
Yes.
Anyway, there's my little contribution.
Yeah, they were great. They're wonderful.
Yeah, good days, James. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night. Sally at Murrumbina, good evening.
Oh, hi, Bruce and Phil. I saw the Beatles in '64 in Adelaide, and we were at the concert. My girlfriend's mum drove us there, and we were so excited. And then when she picked us up, we all lost our voices. We couldn't speak. So
I'll bet you did.
I know. And another thing about the tennis, Leighton was fantastic, but they never mentioned Darren Carroll, who coached him. He coached Leighton. He was the youngest player in the world to get #1, and he also coached Andre Agassi, the oldest player, to get to #1 as well. So I just thought I'd throw that in.
They had a wonderful retrospect on Leighton Hewitt and his coach on television about 2 or 3 nights ago. It was absolutely wonderful, that coach.
Yeah. Was that Darren?
Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Didn't see that, but I know Darren. He's married to Victoria Mahin. She's my fairy goddaughter.
Oh, really? No, he's a very fine man.
Yes.
A good man.
Absolutely, he is divine.
All right, Sally, if you hold on now, we've got a Bataki mini easy cut ham for you.
Oh, thank you. That would be lovely.
I want you to be patient. Just hold on for Ken. He'll be with you as soon as he possibly can.
Thank you very much.
And we'll get you the Bataki.
I love you guys.
Thanks.
Okay, darling. Thank you, Sally. The older men in my era talking about that.
Telephone before I connected them. And I thought that was absolutely awesome.
Yes.
Isn't that? Do you remember who you spoke to, or just all of the Beatles?
Well, I actually spoke to Paul, and I also spoke to John Lennon.
Goodness me.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. But and for the rest of the night, I was so wide awake and so tickled pink that I didn't knock off till after 2 o'clock.
Oh.
I'll bet you didn't sleep a wink.
No, geez, I never slept a wink. No, I didn't. When I went home, I was still awake. And I had their photos there.
What did you talk to them about, Pauline?
I was asking them what they thought of Australia and how they started off with their music and so forth. We had a lovely conversation. They asked how old I was.
Oh.
And would I like to meet them after I knocked off? And I just couldn't answer that.
Dangerous, dangerous.
I know. I was brought up by Lebanese parents and I was really naive.
Well, they'd stab you.
Yeah, so that was the tickle pick of my life.
I'm glad you remained innocent, Pauline.
Isn't that amazing? Making an interstate phone call, a hookup with the Beatles, back to Perth. Here's this young kid. How old was he? 14 or something?
Yeah, young teenager.
At the Southern Cross, connecting them back to Perth.
That's right, by operator in those
Very
days.
good story, a lovely story from a young, impressionable Maltese girl.
Yeah, we haven't heard that one before,
Could have
Pauline.
slipped in the net very easily. 9 to 12.
A few lines called If a Dog Was Your Teacher. If a dog were your teacher, you'd learn things like, when loved ones come home, always run to greet them. Never pass an opportunity to go for a joyride. Allow the experience of fresh air and wind in your face to be in pure ecstasy. When it's in your own best interest, practice obedience. Let others know when you're invading your territory. Take naps and stretch before rising. If a dog was your teacher, run, romp and play daily. Thrive on attention and let people touch you. Avoid biting with a simple growl will do. On warm days, stop to lie on your back in the grass. On hot days, drink lots of water. Lie under a shady tree. When you're happy, dance around and wag your entire body. No matter how often you're scolded, don't buy into the guilt and pout. Run right back and make friends. Delight in the simple joy of a long walk. Eat with gusto and enthusiasm. Stop when you've had enough. If a dog was your teacher, you'd be loyal. Never pretend to be something you're not. If you want what lies buried, dig until you find it. And when someone's having a bad day, be silent, sit close by, and nuzzle them gently.
Copyright restricts distribution of this piece by any means of duplication.
Well, that's it for tonight. Thank you for being part of a wonderful show on Nightline tonight. We've had a lot of fun. Stand by now for Australia Overnight with Luke Boner as he goes right across this country with the next show.
Yeah, we had the best time with Peter Hitchener and your calls and our Tiger Airline winners.
Good night, Samuel, Carter, Amelia, Emily and Charlotte, Sweet Ella Grace, Little William Oliver and Sophia Grace.
Good night, Oro. Good night, Tweety.
Good
I'm
night,
on the way.
Kenny, and we shall be back tomorrow at 10.
The sick, the sad, the lonely, the homeless, you're always in our hearts, always in our thoughts.
And the successful too. Good night to you.
See you tomorrow night, Bruce.
And that's the way she went today.